Hello, this is Linda Vettrus-Nichols, and do I have an amazing person to introduce you to? Lisa Gable. Welcome, Lisa.
Welcome and thank you, I guess. I
Welcome
can't
to
say
your
welcome to
home.
you. You're
Welcome to
welcome.
my home.
Yes.
It's a different world, isn't it? Go across the world being somebody's home. I love it. Okay, so manage your relationships. When you hear words like manage your relationships, you're like a pro of that now. What comes to mind?
Well, it's twofold. And one of the first things I said is do what's right for you. You have to determine how you want to interact with the world. I'm hoping, based on things we've talked about, that you're willing to interact from a positive point of engagement, that you're willing to take the time to understand someone and let them understand you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're learning how to set boundaries at the beginning of your career and throughout your life, right? As a mother, as a wife, as a member of a community, as a member of a church, a synagogue, you also have to set boundaries. And so I think it's a
Yeah.
twofold item, which is ensuring that you are willing to understand that it doesn't have to be all about you, but at the same time, draw your lines in the sand in the places where it's important to you.
I love it. Yeah, my friend Stina Marie talks about like getting asked to bring like a dozen cookies, to some event or whatever, and it's like I wouldn't be able to bake a dozen cookies, but I'd be happy to pick some up. I am not able to attend the event. Is there a place I could pick some up and drop them off, right? So, you can still take part, just know what works for you and your situation and whatever you're being asked to do, if it's really feeling right and it's going to work out all the way around. So I love that
Absolutely.
advice. Yeah, cool. And invest in others. How do you see that?
Well, I see both mentorship, being the mentee and being the mentor, as a lifelong process where you're investing in each other's success. That can be your personal engagement with somebody that's a friend, right? You have to invest
Mhm.
in the friendship. You need to take time to
Yeah.
nurture it, to help it grow, to do things that are of a benefit to you. There's always a benefit to the giver and the receiver of anything.
Right.
And within our professional careers, we can't just focus on our climb up the ladder. We should be pulling people up with us. And by doing so, we become so much stronger. You show up with an army. You show up with an army. I always want to be, Jimmy Stewart and It's a Wonderful Life. That's what I aspire
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you want people to be talking about what you did for them and how it built this opportunity that they may not have had, and the satisfaction you get from investing in other people.
Yeah. I know in high-end coaching, it was like if you reach down for someone below you, they'll pull you down with them. So there's that whole concept. So sometimes I like to think of it as like literally, getting behind them and giving them that like boost up rather than pulling them. Because if you're pulling someone up who isn't like emotionally ready, they will pull you back down. And so, yeah, I like that, getting behind them so that they're actually in the lead. And if they need any support, you're there, but it's still their intention to like climb over the wall or climb up the mountain. So that's an interesting one too.
It brought up an interesting visual image because I do have to say sometimes when I was managing people, particularly during COVID, I really felt like I was like shoving them up and going, okay, let's move your foot up here. All right, move your hand here.
Right.
And there you go.
Or the other way around, you got them by the ring on their nose. People are only going to do what they want to do, right?
Absolutely.
For sure. Cool. Okay, and you are part of the equation. Yes,
You are.
definitely.
You own you
Any
own
relationship.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Nothing can be blamed on the other person. You truly, whether it's a marriage, whether it's
Yeah.
a uh, sponsorship, whether it's a mentorship or a uh, project that you're working on, you do own part of the equation. And
Right.
we fail to remember that we are part of what is required to make that thing move forward.
Yeah. So is marriage 50-50 or is it 100%, 100%? There's an equation for you.
Yeah, you've joined, no matter whether you're married, in a relationship, working with someone, you have joined someone for a moment of time. And maybe the moment of time may be 60 years, or the moment of time may be 3 months. But you're in this moment of time, and how you behave in it. And you need to look at it. What I really bothered me is people who were looking for their next job and failed to remember they were receiving a paycheck for the job they were currently doing. That was probably where I saw the greatest lapse in character, because you don't just get to abandon something. You actually have to finish it.
Yeah, yeah. And I've heard the struggle in schools because the schools are really big on group projects. And then, the kind of like there's like one person who ends up doing all of the work and that causes a lot of right. Did you see that when your daughter was in school?
No, I ended up being that kid who always, I remember, I think group projects were introduced in the 1970s, and I was, I was that person. But again, each person provides. I think one thing we do is we have so many rules, and we need to get rid of the rules. We have way too many rules in religion. We have way too many rules in life.
Yep.
PTO, some mom would come up with the rules of how we all had to behave, and the reality is we each contribute in very different ways.
Yeah.
And each of those contributions, uh, even though they may not fit the mold that the person was looking for, can
Right.
actually create the success that we all value.
Yeah, reciprocity is, it's like, how about pay it forward? Because you just never know, right? So focus on your core competency. You can't be all things to all people.
Well,
Whatever
and that gets
that.
back to what we were just talking about, is that
Yeah,
some people try to do everything for everybody, and you can't.
yeah,
It's much easier, and it's actually better for your relationships if you walk into a situation and go, this is what I do very, very well. This is the piece that I can contribute. If you ask me
yeah.
to do this thing over here, I can't cook. So when people would go, it has to be home baked, I'm like, well, that is a problem, because you
Well,
don't want my food. But am
true.
I really good at ordering something pretty nifty from, the cupcake store? Yes, I'm very good at doing that.
I love that. In my first marriage, all the girls like were good, not just good cooks, but like when they would cut the bars or something, it was like exact, like the
Yes,
precision eye hand coordination. It's just like, you do not want to ask me to cut the bars. I'm not doing it.
exactly.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. This has been great.
It's been wonderful talking with you.
Same here. Bye bye.
Bye.